A recent addition to Intacct and the way we use it is the purchasing workflow for lease requisitions. Find that by going from purchasing to the quote menu and then to lease purchase requisition. You can click on the text to go to the list of all the transactions you or your program have created, or you can click the plus sign to add, and that's what we'll do. This workflow has been created to track lease activity. And when we look at how the workflow is set up, it is set up to allow the use of two different account numbers. 73140 building, land, vehicle, and equipment leases, and then also 75230 for software and services. If we try to use any other account here for the final approver, they'll receive an error message. So for using the lease purchase requisitions, please use those two account numbers. And on this workflow, it's going to work the exact same way as any other. You'll have the date the transaction is being created. This date will also be the date the encumbrance will be recorded. Whoever your vendor is, program, funding source, checkbook, the line item being used to record the activity, the amount and the price. All of that stuff still works the same. For your attachments, you would have the lease documentation that would show the lease agreement, when the lease begins, when it ends, and the item being leased. And of course, once we get to the payment part of it, any of the payments should have their invoices or the supporting documentation for payment. The creation of the workflow is spurred by the GASB number 87, which covers leases. And more importantly, we can start with the definition of a lease, which tells us the lease is defined as a contract that conveys control of the right to use another entity's non-financial asset for a period of time in exchange or exchange-like transaction. Their non-financial assets could include buildings, land, vehicles, and equipment. In other words, the exact same thing that we've numbered our account number. And to put it maybe a little more easier to understand, so a lease is basically an agreement where one party gets the right to use someone else's stuff, like a building, like land, vehicles, or equipment, for a set amount of time. This standard makes it so that we have to track the activity according to certain rules and present them on our financial reports in a certain way. Using the lease purchase requisition workflow will make it so that we can much easier record this activity, find the activity, see the attachments all in one place. So for all future leases, please submit those here and include the original lease agreement with every instance of a requisition. If you have any questions for this stuff, please reach out to your program monitor.